I've spent a lot of time on this grill over the years, working on my hot and fast system for ribs, with the goal of trying to get the best tasting ribs, the most tender ribs, in the shortest amount of time. Today, we're showing you the exact method we use to get tender and flavorful ribs in just a few hours. So today's video, this isn't just your normal rib video. This is gonna be a complete breakdown of the hot and fast rib system, a proven system, one that I've been using for a number of years to get consistent results. Charcoal grills, gas grills, you can adapt it to pellet grills, whatever you want to do. But this is going to be a full and complete breakdown. So if that sounds good to you, let's dive in. A lot of people think great ribs have to take all day, but the truth is, you don't need 6 to 12 hours to get incredible flavor. With the right approach, we can infuse deep smoke, build a rich bark, and get tender ribs in a fraction of the time. We refined this method over multiple cooks, spending countless hours on the grill, and today we're sharing the full breakdown with you. The key to nailing hot and fast ribs is understanding the 3 phases. Phase number 1 is smoke absorption. This is where we're laying the foundation for that deep flavor. Then we move on to phase number 2, which is bark building. In this phase, we're locking in that signature crust. And the last phase, phase number 3, is tenderizing and finishing. This is where we're bringing it all together for that perfect bite and texture. If you practice and put in the work to master these 3 phases, you're going to be able to make some incredible ribs on any grill: charcoal, gas, pellet, or even an oven. Over the years, I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing the comments from some of you about how you've tried our hot and fast rib system and it worked out great for you. So just like it's worked for others, I want you out there to experience the same satisfaction of making some tasty ribs on the grill that your family and friends will absolutely love. Now, let's dive into the cook. First up, let's talk about phase number 1, the smoke absorption phase. The goal for this phase is to start building the flavor profile of the ribs by getting them to absorb the maximum amount of smoke that we desire. As far as grill temperature goes, I found that being around the 225 degrees Fahrenheit number is a good place to be. But keep in mind that you have some flexibility here, so don't panic and stress out if you're not able to maintain exactly this temperature. You can raise the temperature above 225 degrees Fahrenheit if needed, but keep in mind the higher the temp, the less time you spend in this phase, and the less smoke the meat will absorb. Now the ribs will still absorb smoke deeper into the cook, but we're not going to get as much smoke absorption as we would during this phase. So for deeper smoke flavor, keep your grill between 225 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. The longer the ribs stay in this phase, the more exposure they'll have to the smoke. Whenever I grill ribs, I prefer to remove the membrane. One of the things that grilling ribs hot and fast has taught me is that removing the membrane is going to help with smoke absorption. Since we're grilling these ribs hot and fast, our entire timeline is compressed. And if you think about it, I don't want that membrane to act as a barrier and prevent these ribs from absorbing the smoke. We don't have 8 to 12 hours to melt this membrane down, so let's just remove it from the very beginning. We also dry brine these ribs overnight with kosher salt and then apply a generous coating of our custom OG rib rub for a deep layered flavor. Now let's talk about dry brining for a minute. Dry brining is one of the easiest and most effective ways to tenderize, enhance flavor, and improve texture when cooking ribs hot and fast. It's going to help us ensure our ribs aren't just cooked through, but have a depth of flavor and juiciness that rivals low and slow cooking without the extended time commitment. If you want a guide on how to pair seasonings and build your own custom rubs, check out our Ultimate Seasonings Guide. It is an absolute game changer. I'll drop the link down in the description below, and if you want the full recipe for our OG rib rub, we'll place it in the description as well. Today we're using the TiferSync Gold Dual Wireless Thermometer to monitor internal temps of both slabs of ribs along with the internal temperature of the grill. And one thing I'm noticing is that one of our slabs is cooking faster than the other. Now we're grilling directly over the coals today using a mixture of Kingsford briquettes and hickory chunks, and I tried to spread them out evenly. However, we still have a hot spot and I like to get a better handle on what's causing it. and I know just the right tool for the job. The Innova 3360 thermal imaging camera is a tool that I use around the house or when I'm troubleshooting issues with our vehicles. However, today we're going to use it to help us pinpoint where the hot spots are on the grill. The camera is showing temperature variations across the grill, and I think our lid seal on our 20-year-old Weber might be the cause of our hot spots. That's something we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on during this cook. And if you want to check out this tool, I'll leave a link to my recommended tools and accessories down in the description below. Now let's go in and get these ribs rotated to help ensure they cook evenly. The game plan right now, when I go in this time, I want to check to see how our underside is looking. We're still in the smoke absorption phase. So I want to go in, I want to see how that underside is looking. And from monitoring temperatures on the Typher, I see that one slab is slightly ahead of the other as far as cook. And I want to rotate them to try to even out a bit. So that's the objective when we go in. Let's get into it. See, our bark is setting up here a little bit. And let's go underside. Oh yeah. So we do not run the risk of that. So we're gonna move this one here. Move that one right there. Move this here. And let's go ahead and get it closed. Check the backside. Our backside looks good. No risk of burning. So I think we're good for now. Now it's time to move on to phase 2, the bark building phase. At this point, our ribs have absorbed all that smoke, and we can tell from our Typher thermometers that the internal temperature is around 130 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit internal. Now it's time for us to crank up the temperature. We're going to shoot for something like between 350 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit to really start leaning in and building this bark. So at this point, we got both of my slabs up to 160. That's what I wanted to get to. Now we're gonna go in and take the lid off. Then we're gonna go meat side down, and I really want to start to build up that bark on the meat. Now that the bark has set on the meat side, now I want to expose it to some heat, and we don't run the risk of disturbing it right now. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now let's go ahead and add a full chimney of charcoal to help push these ribs past the stall and get these grill temperatures up so that we can develop that deep, flavorful crust. Now, since we're grilling at higher temperatures during this phase, we have got to stay on our game. To prevent burning, we're going to flip and rotate these ribs as needed while keeping an eye out for flare-ups. And after adding the coals, you can see the internal grill temperature on our Typher is increasing and this coal bed is getting aggressive. It's important that we stay locked in and engaged to manage our grill. So we are in the bark building phase right now. And before we leave this phase, there are a few things I want to look for. Number one, I want our internal temperature of the ribs to be about 190 degrees Fahrenheit. I want to see some flex in the slab, some meat pull back from the bones, and I want to see some bone twists. So in addition to hitting our target internal temperature, we should be seeing some signs of tenderness. So once the ribs hit 190 degrees Fahrenheit, the bark is set and we're ready to move on to the next step. Top side. Down right here. There we go. So we're gonna get in here now. I'm gonna do some rearranging. I'm seeing now that slab 2 is ahead of slab 1, and we got a temperature difference too inside the grill. So let's go ahead and just rearrange these slabs right quick and even this out. Man, this is where this Typher, man, can really help you. Man, this is super convenient to be able to see that type of swing. top side. This down right here. There we go. Now we're moving on to phase 3, which we're going to call tenderizing and finishing. Now, for this phase, we're going to wrap our ribs in aluminum foil, meat side down, and at this point, you can add a splash of your favorite liquid. We're using low sodium soy sauce today, but you can use water, apple cider vinegar, beer. It's totally up to you at this point. You just want to be mindful that there's adequate amount of moisture inside the foil wrap so the ribs don't dry out on you. So now that our ribs have been wrapped, we want to target temperature of our grill to be between 325 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit with these ribs wrapped and back on the grill. And we're going to go wrapped until these ribs reach an internal temperature of 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Now in our case, we had to reconfigure our grill for indirect heat for this phase. Our grill temperatures were just too high from leaving the bark building phase, and since we had been grilling directly over the coals, I wanted to go indirect to help control the temperature of the ribs a little better so they wouldn't cook too fast. So we had to do this rearrangement because we were on the Weber today. Now if we had been on a larger grill like our char griller, we would have gone with a 2-zone setup from the very beginning so that we would have as much versatility as we could with the 2 slabs of ribs. So just keep that in mind. This hot and fast approach, not only for indirect, you can go direct, or you can set up a 2-zone fire that allows you to get the best of both worlds, and you can go back and forth between direct and indirect as needed. It's been about 25 minutes, so let's go in and check our internal temps, and it looks like we're hitting around that 205 degrees Fahrenheit mark on both slabs of ribs. So let's go ahead and get these off the grill, get them unwrapped, apply our barbecue sauce, and then we'll put them back on the grill and let them go for about 5 minutes so that sauce can set up. One question I get a lot is, hey Keith, we don't hardly ever see you put barbecue sauce on your ribs, man. What's up with that? So some of you may have heard me say this already, but I say this jokingly, but there's definitely some truth to it. I think I was scarred as a kid, going to barbecues and cookouts where people would burn the meat and then they would try to cover it up with a whole lot of barbecue sauce. And it's crazy because that experience as a child really shaped my grilling style. Today, in our case, I don't necessarily want the sauce to be the star of the show. I think these ribs should be able to stand on their own without the sauce, and we're just going to use this sauce to complement and enhance the flavor of ribs that should already be tender and flavorful and hold their own even without the sauce. After a 10-minute rest, it's time to slice and taste these hot and fast baby back ribs. Wow, these ribs are juicy, packed with smoky flavor, and have that perfect bite. And one thing I wanted to try to do in going direct today, my motivation behind that is that when we were in that smoke absorption phase, I had that mixture of hickory and charcoal there to try to add more depth and more smoky flavor to the backside of those slabs. We had removed that membrane, and man, all that extra work we did with the brining and all that, I can really taste the depth of flavor. There are a couple of things I look for when I'm taste testing my ribs to make sure I've achieved the level of tenderness I'm going after. When I bite into that rib and I get clean bite marks like you see right here, and it's tender and it's not fall off the bone, but I can tug it off with like an effortless pull, those are all signs that let me know I have nailed the tenderness, and that is the tenderness that I'm looking for. If you watch the channel, you know my son Judah loves him some barbecue and food off the grill, and he usually sits to my right when we're at the table. So let's go in and check it with him to get his opinion on these ribs. Now, there's one thing about Judah. I know he's gonna give it to me straight.
How it taste, Judah?
Good.
So, Daddy cooks ribs in the past. How does this compare to my other ribs?
Tastes good.
It tastes good. What's good about it?
I like the juicy flavor.
You like the flavor? Is it tender?
Yes.
Good.
So keep in mind that this hot and fast system we just went over isn't a one-time trick. It is a method. It's a method that's been developed and refined by me over the years. It's been a method that's, I've made some mistakes. I've done some things, I've learned some things, and I've packed it all into this process. It's one that's not a respecter of persons. If I can do it, you can do it. Matter of fact, I've loved seeing comments coming in from you all who have watched our past rib videos on the hot and fast system, and you've been able to utilize the system to achieve similar success. And I just absolutely love to hear when you all are able to use the system or use any techniques we talk to you about in the videos. Go to your grill, serve up some amazing food to your friends and family, and I absolutely love it. So, in order to make it convenient for you, we've packed all this information into a one-page guide. If you want to go check out that guide, please see the link down in the description below. It'll walk you through each one of the phases we've talked about, give you some things you need to look out for during each phase to try to do our best to set you up for success. So, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, grill boldly, serve proudly, and enjoy the process.